live, hopefully, at Boat Life Live. Now the question is, can you hear me? I've had to disable chat because there's no way I will be able to read comments scrolling up the screen while this happens. So if anybody watching this, and I can see that there are people watching, if you could just tap the like button, then I will get an indication that you can hear me, and that at least is a good start for the broadcast. So to the 3 people watching, I'm not sure if one of those is me as well, if you could tap the like button, and then I'll know you can hear me. Aha! We have a tap on the like button, which I'm going to take as a good sign. I don't think I can turn the chat on, can I? No, having turned it off at the start. Trouble is, I'm not going to be able to read chat messages on an iPhone as I walk around the show. So reluctantly, I had to turn the chat off. But I've got 8 likes. Again, if you can hear me all right, tap the like button, and then I know. Oh, welcome all the new viewers tuning in. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds just with this general view of the show while we give people a chance to see their notifications and tune in. So welcome the early birds. Say, because I have comments turned off, I don't know if you can hear me, so I'm relying on you hitting the like button because it does give me a little indication of likes. And that's good, it's going up. So I'm going to take that as a good sign. I've got a highly sophisticated microphone system, which I'm just going to briefly show to you in operation here. Got a little tiny wireless mic, and I stuck it on a spatula that I brought from my kitchen, which means that I should be able to do some sort of interview type thing with people. Now what we're looking at here is 3 halls of the NEC, 17, 18 and 19, which are combined into one for the purposes of the show. And I'm upstairs in the pub section. They've got a little pop-up pub here called the Rose and Crown. And we're looking down immediately. In fact, if I'm really lucky, I can tilt the gimbal. So, there we go. We're looking down at the inland waterways section, which last year, I seem to recall, had about 3 canal boats. And this year, apparently, they've got 12. So although it is still not a huge show by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not all inland waterways, a vast amount of it is other types of boating, sailboats, powerboats, ribs, that kind of thing. They have definitely expanded the inland waterways section of it. I mean, you can see just there on that image that we've got an ABC hire boat, and then we've got, who's that one by? That's Oakham's narrowboat there, and then we've got a couple more narrowboats that way as well. So I'm just going to give it, oh, well, I'm sorry, just getting used to this gimbal. Right, no, come on. There we go. Right, we've got 160 people watching, a lot of likes on the old like button, so I'm going to gently start walking down from the pub. This is the pub area, and I'm going to walk down from there, hopefully without tripping over. I've managed to give myself a very long cable to power the iPhone, and I'm pretty sure that's going to catch on things. But I have upgraded to have a gimbal. The last live I did was going through Birmingham, and the camera work on the iPhone was very wobbly. So I've upgraded and bought myself this tiny little gimbal. So hopefully the footage is nice and steady. Oh, I just mentioned, by the way, didn't I, that it's more than just inland waterway stuff. So those are river boats, for example, which I suppose is still inland waterways, isn't it? And then you've got a wide beam over there. We will go and have a look around all this. My plan for this live is simply that I'm going to walk round the inland waterways section mostly, then we'll have a quick stroll through the rest of it because, for logistical reasons, one of the narrowboats had to go right at the far end of the hall. So we'll go and have a look at that, and then anything else that kind of catches my eye, really. And of course, if people start dropping off the live, I'll know I've done too much and talked too long and people aren't interested anymore. However, let us first of all go and start as we mean to go on in the corner, and let's go and have a look at the boat from Oakham's. Oh, there's the pub, by the way. It's just another little shot of the Rose and Crown there, and people watching. So there is the display narrowboat from Oakham's Narrowboats, 100% electric. Now, I'm not going to go into any of these boats because I suspect the signal from the phone will simply disappear as soon as I go into a narrowboat. So we're going to have to look at them from the outside. But this costs about £200,000. It's fully electric. It's got a massive 800 amp hour at 48 volts lithium setup. And I wonder if I could get on board and just peek into it without the signal dropping out. I don't know is the answer, and I don't really want to risk it. Anyway, there's the lovely staff from Oakham's. And we move on past them to Onboard Energy. Now, Onboard Energy are based at Springwood Haven Marina. I bought all the bits for my camper van from Onboard Energy, solar panels, charger and all that kind of stuff. You can see they've got all the good Victron gear here. And there's your main man talking to customers. He knows everything. I know he knows everything because he used to be at King's Orchard Marina at Lichfield, and he's the technical guy there, and he really does know what he's talking about. Let's go and see the lovely folk at ABC, who've got a lovely hire boat here in the typical ABC colours. Give us a wave! Lovely people, there we go. Boating holidays from ABC. They've got everything. Got short breaks, they've got caravan parks, they've got marinas. Got a bit of everything, haven't you? Everything canal boats, in fact. Yes, all right. Well, let's go and look at some more stuff over here. You've got Beta Marine, of course. This is pretty much, I would say, the de facto engine in most narrowboats these days will be a Beta 38 or Beta 45, depending how big you want to be. If you've got a wide beam, you've probably got a Beta 70. Richardson's Leisure, that's another hire boat company, I think. I don't actually know anything about Richardson's Leisure, but there's their blurb, if you are curious. Let's, how's the gimbal holding up? Hopefully this is all stable footage for you. And if we wander around a bit further, we have Lakeland Leisure, who are owners of moorings and so on and so forth, and also do boat sales. So if you want to come and buy something, that's the place to go. And over here, it's boats side by side. Swan Boat Builder. This is the Liverpool contingent. You've got Swan Boat Builders here. Yay! Give us a wave. And also next to them, Bickerstaffe Boats. Now, Bickerstaffe appear to have been bought by Lakeland Leisure Estates. I knew they'd been sold probably about a year ago, and now they're here as part of Lakeland Leisure Estates. And that is a Bicker boat, made famous by many, many a narrowboat vlogger, with these cool blacked out windows so you can not peer in at people when they don't want you peering in at them. Oh, hello, my gimbal's gone a bit funny. How am I supposed to fix that? Stop being mad, you silly thing. I don't like this gimbal. Do you know, I'm going to have to take it off the gimbal, aren't I? It's gone mad. Hang on, let me see if I can reset it. Is that reset? No. Right, I'm going to switch it off and switch it on again, because that is probably the best thing. Right, that's off. And there we go, that's on again. Silly gimbal. Right, so this is the Swan Narrowboats demo boat, Kepakali. All looking very smart. They look so shiny, don't they? Shiny, shiny paintwork. And there's our man again. We've just come all round full circle. All right, that'll do. Now, what else have we got in the inland waterways section? Let's wander this way, because there is more to see, more narrowboats. I must say, it's nice. Collingwood have got 3 here, 2 wide beams, 1 giant wide beam here, and then they've got another giant wide beam over here. You know what, we might try a sneaky peek in while nobody's looking. Let's have a look. Without actually going in, as I say, I will lose the signal, I'm sure, if I go in the boats. But there we go. Look at all that space you get in a wide beam. Space-tastic. And happy people looking out over the boats. And that's 2 from Collingwood, and it's their narrowboat that ended up at the other end of the hall for logistical reasons. I can only imagine the chaos when you try to actually fill out a hall like this with boats. Now, what have we got over here? A couple of little, what do you call them, ribs? I think they're ribs. Dinghies, I might call them. And then if we wander past here, Caldwell's windows. Now, I think I'm right to say, you guys make the windows for the Bicker boats, don't you? Yes, you do. Oh, my gimbal's gone mad again. What is it doing? Anyway, so wave to YouTube, live on YouTube. There we go. I'm going to have to turn this gimbal off because it's absolutely rubbish. And we'll go back to good old-fashioned holding the phone. So it's all going to get a bit wobbly from here on in, I'm afraid, which is kind of irritating. Very irritating. Actually, I charged the blooming thing, I tested the blooming thing. I've never had much luck with gimbals. Now, whose narrowboat is this? Oh, look, an open hatch. Shall we have a peer inside? I think we will. Inside of a narrowboat. Jolly good. Right, who are we here? This is Staniland Boats. There we go. Staniland Marina, which is somewhere, if I'm not much mistaken, up in Yorkshire. I'm pretty sure it is. And then over in this corner, I did say there were quite a lot of narrowboats on display. We've got one from JF Boat Building, who are based at, yes, King's Bromley, which was just down the road from where I used to be moored at King's Orchard. My post used to end up at King's Bromley Marina because the postman couldn't distinguish between King's Bromley and King's Orchard. And this, I'm sorry about the wobbly camera work, I really am, but the gimbal has decided to completely go doolally. So I tell you what, let's peek in through the hatch of this one. Right, there's the nice dinette. Kitchen, I hope the signal's holding up. And people looking around the saloon. I will just reiterate that I turned the comments off on the live because I can't possibly hope to read the comments on an iPhone screen while I'm wandering around. So I'm relying simply on there being people watching. It gives me a little head count in terms of knowing that it's still all working, etc. It tells me I'm live, so hopefully I am. Right, I think that is the bulk of the narrowboats on display. I was hoping to see my favourite little wilderness beaver boats, who do have stand marked out, but it's not them on it. Someone else is on their stand, so I don't know what's going on there. Ah, Canal Line. Never quite sure how. They're the other major engine supplier, I suppose. And then you've got other accessory bits like Titan boat canopies, who do like pram hoods and cratch covers and all that kind of good stuff. Water Freedom, I confess I don't know. Oh yes, I do. They make these water filtering systems that take all your yucky water and make it nice to drink. If you watch Love Your RV in the States, he's got their system. And obviously the Canal and River Trust are here. You'd rather hope the Canal and River Trust would be here, and there is their stand. Midland Chandlers, you can't go to a show without Midland Chandlers. Give us a wave. Hey, you're live on YouTube. And they've got everything you need for your boat. Everything and more. What have we got here? Lightning Craft. Oh, Lecky Motors. Lecky Motors. Let's have a look at a... The world is changing, isn't it? Look at this. Big, thick, fat cables taking all that power to these lovely Lecky Motors. Can you stick these in a canal boat?
Certainly can, and we have done.
You have stuck them in a canal boat. Okay. How much does one of these cost?
Wow.
Speaking to my lovely spatula of microphone.
Which one of these would you like to
I'd like one sized to a typical 57-foot narrowboat, please.
So this one here is our Direct Drive 10.
Okay.
And this would push your boat along beautifully, actually. If you've got perhaps you're tidal cruising and you want a little bit more power, this one here is twice the power and will do just that. So quite often we get asked, can I go tidal? Can I do the Bribble link? And the answer is yes. But if you want that extra security, this is your
get the big
answer.
beastie.
Yes,
and it certainly does look like a lovely big beastie. Can you give me an indication of the price of one of the big beasties?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, this one here will retail for around 8,000 mark.
That's about typical for a diesel engine, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's about the
yeah.
mark
I mean,
for a diesel.
Bear in mind you've got to layer on the
batteries
charging,
all the other bits. Yeah.
But it's something to think about anyway. And we're a UK-based company. We design and manufacture everything ourselves. So we're trying to be a bit different this year.
Okay.
So we're
lovely, lovely, lovely Lecky. It's the future, you know. Let us wander on and see what else we've got that's suitable for the canal boats, because there are many more stalls. Oh, I did say Canal Line and Beta were the big names. Of course, Shire. How could I forget Shire? I can't forget Shire. They've got big beefy diesels as well. Yes, now that will push your wide beam along at a fair old rate. Another window supply here, Channel Glaze, very well known. They've been around in business for years. They make all sorts of windows of all sorts of sizes. Give us a wave, Channel Glaze. There we go, thank you very much. And we shall potter on further to, Vitas. Now, Vitas do electric motors. Have they got one? That's a diesel. I'm not sure. Oh, that must be electric. There we go. One of the boats I went on in vlog, I think it was vlog 244 where I did the thing about the comparison between diesel and electric motors. One of those had the Vetus in it. I think it was one of the first ones. Oh look, I've just discovered another wide beam. Just sitting there in the middle of the show. Let's have a pot around, see who this is. Oh, Tingdean, who are marina and brokerage and boat sales various. They do sell a lot of these wide beams. And also they sell these floating, not boats, but they are technically boats because they're floating, sort of static. Well, I suppose that is the actual houseboat, isn't it? Your very definition of a houseboat. And the other thing Tingdean sell, actually, apart from these river cruisers, is, I think this is one of their Viking line, which are small, canal-sized cruisers. And they are, I think I'm right in saying, small enough for the narrow canal. So I think they're 6'10". These are narrow canal.
Yes.
Let's just get you on. You're live on YouTube. So these are canal craft suitable for all the waterways.
Very much so, yeah. So you'll go, again, we're based on the River Thames, but typically the Kennington Avon Canal, the Grand Union Canal, as well as the Thames.
And these little ones, they are 6'10", aren't they? They can do the narrow waterways?
They are, yeah. There's two different options. So this is the high line, but yeah, again, is narrow enough to do.
And you've been making these for years.
We said, well, Viking have.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Again, the other thing is a low air draft, so this windscreen is fully removable. Again, that will slot in the back area there, so it will do any low bridges.
So if you don't want a big steel thumper, but you fancy something that's a more traditional GRP, you can get that. Can I step aboard and just peek the camera down? The good thing about fiberglass is that I'm less likely to lose the signal. Oh, however, I am likely to trap my own laces in my battery cable. How have I done that? There we go. Whoops, sorry about that. Right, are we still on? Oh, that's good. Thorough professionalism here. And that is the inside of a little Viking cruiser. It all looks very nice, doesn't it? Right, there's some actual customers coming, so I'll get out of the way.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. Right, let's go round whatever remains of the inland waterways. But is anyone still watching? Gosh, amazingly, yes. Okay, let's wander along this vast wide beam. I might see if I can poke the camera in the side hatch here as well. Oh, it's let's have a look. Can we see anything? Oh, yes, we can. Look at the space you get in a wide beam. Huge, huge humongous. But of course, you can't go on the narrow canals in the middle of the country because they are all narrow beam. Now, ABNB Boat Brokerage, where I bought my boat from, where I sold my boat with. It's Justin, who knows everything about boats. He surveyed my boat. You've serviced I keep saying my boat. I sold it a year ago, but I still refer to it as my boat. How are boat sales going at the moment?
It's a little bit quiet at the moment, but time of year and
winter
and recession, talks of recession, but we're still selling boats. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, have a good show. And they've got one of the best, and I say this not just because I sold mine through them, but they have got the best brochures of any narrowboat broker. And they just pages and pages of lovely photos and good info. So if you're looking to just perv over boats, go and look at the ones on ABNB. Ovation Boats here, builders of fine craft. I'm sure they'd love to talk to you about selling you a narrowboat. Cadal Craft, or is it Cadal? Efficient hull narrowboats. I know nothing about that. Low drag hydrodynamic hulls. Well, if they weren't busy talking to customers, I'd go and talk to them because I don't know what on earth that means. And then over there, oh, sorry about swaying around so crazily. Warwickshire Narrowboat Hire, again, for your narrowboat holidays. There's more inland waterway stuff. I did say right at the start, they've vamped up the inland section this year, and they really have. You've got the New News Boat Company, who are based somewhere up, yes, Derby, isn't it? And also Droitwich. Oh, and now the tannoy comes on, just as I'm chatting. So New News Boat certainly used to be, I think they possibly still are, dealers for the Aqualine. Do you still deal Aqualine?
We do indeed.
You do still, yes, Aqualines as well
Aqualines.
as. Is this your own range of? Y-beams, or is this an aqua?
Well, this is now built exclusively for us, called the Exclusive range. So it's
right.
built by Collingwood for us.
Right,
So it's just available through us. But yeah, so it's the newly launched Marlow.
brand new.
It is.
Oh, shiny, shiny. I might go and peer through the window and we can have a look at it. There we go. Someone. Well, you see, the trouble with going on board, I'm streaming live to YouTube now, and I'll lose the signal if I go into a metal boat. So I shall just have to peer in through the windows. It's all looking very show ready, isn't it? Slight reflection off the glass, but you get the general gist. And that is the inside of a modern whacking great. This must be the full 70 feet. This thing's huge. Hang on. Where's the end of it? Somewhere back here, there's the end of a boat. Oh, there it is. There it is. That is vast. That must be 70 foot by 12 at least. Ah, but we might get a view down the end there. There we go. For any new viewers who've just joined, I would like to apologise for the shakiness of the footage. I started out with the gimbal, and then the gimbal went absolutely mad twice, just randomly shaking the camera all over the place. So I've had to turn the gimbal off, and we're back to nasty wobbly footage again, which is because I have a cheap iPhone that doesn't have any stabilisation built in. I must upgrade my phone. Now, I think I'm right in saying that that is the end of the inland waterways bit of the show. But we could have a quick wander around everything else if anyone's interested. I tell you what I do need to do, of course, there is that other Collingwood narrowboat which they had to put down the far end. So let's just go for a wander down to the far end and we can just see what else is here and anything that takes our interest. We've got these nice big speedy rib type things. Imagine blasting up the canal in one of those. Brooks and Gatehouse, I think that's B&G, isn't it? If memory serves me correctly. And then we're into non-inland craft here and sort of offshore power boats and that kind of thing. Look at the size of that outboard. That's a proper outboard, that is. Mercury, good brand, I think. Sea Line, I'm told by the organisers that boat is the heaviest boat here and it needed the biggest crane to get it into place. I don't know how heavy it is, but it's just jolly heavy. So we'll wander by, and as you can see, they've got quite a nice range of big uns to littler uns. And over here, I mean, it's more of this sort of posh stuff. This is really going into Nick Burnham's territory of Aquaholic Channel. He's probably here, I imagine, or will be at some point. But if we keep wandering down here, there is just one final narrowboat to poke the camera through the window of, and that is, let us squeeze past here without causing a problem. Oh, look at these. There is one final narrowboat down the end. You can just see it there, I think, in the distance, in the, what colour would you call that? It's a sort of aqua something blue. You may not be able to see it because of all the wobbling on the camera. Again, so many apologies. The gimbal just went berserk. Shall I try switching the gimbal on again? Should we see if it's going to behave? Hang on, it's going to go mad while I let go of the phone. Let's switch the gimbal on again. Is it going to switch on? Come on. Yeah, you see, it's going to pretend to be working for me again now. So just for the last bit of wandering up to this narrowboat, we can have some decent footage. That's nice, isn't it? I don't know what caused it to go mad, it just did. And this is built by Collingwood. They've got 3 boats here, 2 wide beams and a narrowboat. A 60-foot sheer water, they call it. And the price, they've actually put the price on, which I do like. 116,600, hang on, there's too many digits in that price. 116,6,235 plus VAT. There's a typo in that, but that does include all the fitting out with central heating, toilet, stove, engine, blah, blah, blah. We'll have a quick peek through the windows. There are people in there viewing it. There's the telly, so that must be the saloon. Yes. Oh, I tilted the gimbal, it's like that. That'll be the loo, because it's all shaded out. And then this is probably the bedroom. Yes, I think it is. There we go. And that is your sheer water narrowboat. Now, we've got odd other things here, like trucks and, ooh, camper vans. A bit partial to a camper van, as you possibly know. Let's quick peer at a camper van. And I appreciate this is not a boat. I think it's fairly standard camper van sort of stuff, really. These VWs are all much of a muchness, aren't they? Yes, you've got your rock and roll bed.
Make sure you get your best side.
And you've got your fridge and cooking and all that. Right, let's zip. I tell you what, for the final few seconds of this broadcast, let us zip down the other side of the show, because it is these 3 halls, so you can pretty much go up, down, up, down, up, down, and then you've done it all. So I'm going to go over to the far side, and we'll do a zoom down, because I'm up to 25 minutes of broadcast. I would have thought half an hour would be plenty, frankly. So we'll go past some... I mean, I don't know what you do with this kind of boat. I'm sure it's enormous fun, but it literally, you just take it out and it looks almost like a rescue type boat. We go and rescue people in, but I'm sure that's not what they're for. Just for having fun, I guess. Alrighty, let's wander up this way. And boats over there. People selling the dream. Imagine sundowners here, it says, at this water lodge. Oh, now look at that. Look at the floats on that. This whole thing is a floating home. Static, I presume. Take it to place and then live in it. Oh, very nice. I tell you what, let's have a quick wander up while we're here. Let's just poke the camera through the door. Yeah, proper floating home, this, isn't it? I think the gimbals are about to go mad again. So we may be back to wobbly footage in a minute. Thank you.
Please, by all means, you
can I wander in?
Wander in and
what's the construction? Is it metal? I'll lose the signal if it's metal.
It's 316 marine grade stainless steel.
I better not. I'll probably lose the live signal if I go into anything metal. But thank you.
No more.
Right, more boats. As I say, we'll just wander down the end, and then we'll probably call a halt to the live broadcast. So, apologies on 2 folds. Firstly, for the wobbliness of the gimbal going mad, and secondly, for having to turn off comments because I couldn't read them while I was walking along and on a tiny iPhone screen. That's interesting. Look at that hull. That looks like a boat built to take any kind of conditions. Not that I know much about these kind of boats, to be perfectly honest. There's some... what else have we got over that side? Oh, look, man with a much bigger gimbal on his camera. I bet his works. I'm slightly disappointed in this thing. It's a proper, proper gimbal-y thing. And it just goes ballistic every now and again, which is very annoying. Right, randomly an i3, I think that's an i3, isn't it? Electric car. Oh, look, sailing boats, little dinghies. That's nice, all very colourful. And I think I will, even though I'm heading back towards the far end, I am just going to come through here, because there's another big one. And I like, when I occasionally buy a lottery ticket and have my little dreams of, well, what would I buy? And the answer is I don't quite know what boat I would buy if I won many millions. But you're obviously going to start with something like this, aren't you? So that you've got power and comfort and all that. Something you can invite your friends on and frankly show off a bit. So I think that will do us. Oh, there's Barras. Barras, who own many, many brands. And they've got more ribs. They've got a lot of these little ribs here at the show. Very, very popular. And we are almost back to... oh, do you know what? I think there's a tiny bit of the inland waterways I didn't actually point the camera at. So let us wander just very quickly down this way. What have we got here? Oh, that's nice. That's rather nice. River cruiser type thing, I presume. ASAP Supply. Now, ASAP Supplies are a sort of chandlery, online chandlery. They have bits of everything. Equicool, fridges and freezers. All very nice, 12-volt stuff. And then, yes, I didn't mention there's Wi-Fi on board who will sell you a modem or a router or something for your boat. And Aqueduct Marina, who are based... where at Aqueduct Marina? I've been to Aqueduct Marina. Cheshire, I think it's Cheshire is Aqueduct Marina. And they've got a deal on. A show, so if you are coming over the weekend, show them your ticket to the show and you get a week's free mooring or a free slipway. And do you know what? Just in time for finishing, the gimbal's gone mad again. Honestly, I'm going to throw this thing in the bin. Right, let us try and steady it with my hand. And, God, that's rubbish, isn't it? Dear me. And here we are back at the end of the show. So I think what we're going to do is swap the camera around and say thank you very much for watching. If you have been watching, and oh, is this viewers? Do you want to be on the live? Hey! So thank you very much for watching. If you have been watching, thank you for putting up with the wobbly bits where the gimbal went mad. I hope this was of use. The show runs today, tomorrow, and over the weekend. Car parking at the NEC is horrific. It's $16.95 for the day, but if you book in advance, it's $12.85. Obviously, you can come by train because the Birmingham International Station is right next to the NEC. And yeah, I think the show tickets are about 15 quid. I'm not entirely certain because I got in here on a press pass. You wave a camera at them and say press, and they give you a press pass. So thank you for watching, as I say, and hopefully of interest. Now, I think when this is finished, YouTube will upload it as a finished video to which you can then, should you so wish, put normal YouTube comments as opposed to the live chat type of comments. So again, thanks very much. Now I'm just going to work out where the stop button is. Bear with me.